Another 2-2, back to 500, or are we getting a little bit too excited?
We're getting a little bit too excited, and let me tell you exactly why. I mean, all right, I get it. The Falcons are 2-2, but I'm kind of saying that I think they could be 3-1 if not for a blown loss to the Saints in Week 1, and obviously they were coming back against the Rams, but it fell short. But impressive wins against the Seahawks and Browns is exactly what they needed. But I think we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves. And the reason why I say that is because one of their key players, Cordero Patterson, their running back, is now out for at least the next 4 games as he's going on IR. And I got to say, the only way that I'm going to be convinced if the Falcons are contenders or maybe they're a little bit more serious than we thought is if they go 2-1 in their next 3 games. And I'm going to say 2-1 because they're playing the Buccaneers, they are playing the 49ers, and they are playing the Bengals, all playoffs last season. The 49ers went to the NFC Championship game. The Bengals went to the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers are just a few years removed from a Super Bowl win. So I have to say that if they can go 2-1 maybe in their next 3 games, maybe, just maybe, I'll start to take them a little bit more seriously, and we can start saying that, hey, maybe they're contenders and maybe they got it in, and maybe they have it in them to go on a deep playoff run. But I'm not convinced just yet about the Falcons.
Great points. Hez, what's your thoughts on the Falcons? They're 2-2. A lot of people are excited. 2 straight games where the defense were able to get some pressure, get some sacks, and then game-sealing interceptions. Your thoughts on this Falcons team moving forward? Are they a true contender?
Look, I mean, one of the things coming into the season was you had me where the Falcons would be in their first game. They barely lost against the Saints. That was a dogfight week 1 to show them some grit. The second week against the Rams, that was still showing some grit against those Rams. And they get those 2 wins with the Seahawks and just now recently with the Browns, and they're racking up these wins. But then, the momentum started building. Arthur Smith looks like he's becoming the coach that they need on the offensive side. But their defense still struggles sometimes. Even though they're making plays, their defense still struggles at times. Marcus Mariota, he's a scrambler. He can get after it. But those late-game interceptions have cost him. And now, just like Philip said, the loss, at least for the next 4 games with Cordero Patterson, is going to be hard for them to come up with these wins against the Bucs, who's a motivated team right now. They still have a few injuries, but they're still motivated. The Niners defense, and now with the emergence of Jimmy Garoppolo, who people thought wasn't even a starting quarterback, but now look at him with what he's done for the last 2 weeks or so. And now with the Bengals, they're starting to get their act together. So it's going to be hard for me to see the Falcons as of right now coming on and coming up from those next 3 games they have here and coming up and getting a win out of these next 3 games. But if they can keep some type of momentum with them, maybe we can see something.
Look, I agree with both of you guys. We need to see more out of the Falcons. The Falcons are a team that they're at 2-2. Maybe they're surprising some people, but without Cordero Patterson for at least the next 4 games, like Philip mentioned, and you mentioned Hez as well too, it's going to be hard. This is going to be a hard stretch, especially with the playoff teams and Marcus Mariota. He's going to have to start making plays, and if he can't make plays, do they go to Desmond Ridder? And that might be a real conversation, and we're going to get to that actually